have Maryann Arrien from the NEEAL will present the annual Walter Scott Houston Award, and I know the person personally, and it couldn't go to a better person. Maryann?
Thank you. Why don't you step up here, Paul? This is Paul Valleli. This man is going to receive this award. The Northeast people of the academic league. And I'll take a little bit of this complaint of plaque. It says, Paul, in recognition of your 6 years of service to the league as past NEEAL chair, your observational work for Operation Moon March, Cambridge, your articles of Sky and Tell, and work popularizing the design and use of local producers. Oh, your legendary activities as shop chairman of the ATMs of Boston, and the training materials you developed, and your work as mentor to many amateur and professional opticians, and your own work as an ATM and a professional. Stuff has gone into space, right?
Yes, Voyager in particular.
Pretty cool, huh? His many years of service as both an optical and mechanical judge, and his passing of the torch of knowledge to continue that tradition of optical and mechanical judging here at Stella. That's really something we really like. And his years of preserving ATM and amateur history as a historian of the ATMs of Boston. And I told you it's one part. His volunteer efforts to create a light pollution video for kids on public access. And finally, his restoration of the Dino Argentini 10-inch Reticration, which is up in the Ash Dome up there, for use as a handicap access scope. We hereby present this plaque, this award, to Paul Anthony Valleli, presented this day, July 29, 2006, at Stella in fond remembrance of science, deep sky observer, science writer, and ATM historian Walter Scott Houston.
Thank you, Maryann. Just a minute. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Maryann. Thank you, NEEAL Committee, for awarding this. It's a long time in coming, but I've had a lot of fun in working toward it. I learned yesterday of a very special event, or occurrence, and that is that Tim Ferriss, who's been videotaping here, designed the platter, the gold platter that traveled on Voyager, and that is now outside the solar system, Voyager 1, Voyager 2. And I was proud to have worked for Texas Instruments and JPL to do the Beryllium telescope that discovered the heat coming from the volcanoes of Io, and many other discoveries. It was a lot of fun doing that project, and a lot of long nights. Scotty, some of you, most of you, many of you know Walter Scott Houston. I always thought of him as Sir Walter Scott. He was an amazing man in terms of his ability to use Shakespearean English to its best. He was unfortunate in that he grew up with a stutter, which in those days they didn't know how to cure. But thank God he knew how to pause his stutter just at the right time so that he used it to maximum effect. You were on pins and needles, waiting. What is going to be his next word? You could not anticipate. Like sometimes we repeat ourselves, talk ourselves to ourselves. You couldn't anticipate his dry wit. It was incredible sarcasm that just made it all the funnier. He was a wonderful man. I miss him. And his wife, Maryann, went back to Madison, Wisconsin. They had 3 children. Anne, Margaret, passed away just recently, and Kay, the youngest. And he was blessed then by these 3 daughters. Took them from Madison to Kansas, worked in the Moonwatch program there while I was in Cambridge, then came to Connecticut, in this god-awful place in Connecticut. I never knew there was such an obscure place, East Haddam. But anyway, I tried to find his house once with some friends. Never good. I didn't want you to come there anyway and see all my antique telescopes. I would have stolen them all. So anyway, I unfortunately, when I was a bachelor, was a terrible male chauvinist. And Scotty had my number because he had had the 3 daughters. And I would introduce him back in the 60s as for the shadow ground. And he would be on every word that I said, because if I did say anything sexist, I was a straight man, and boy, did I get pounded in the ground a lot of times. So I'm glad to see so many women now are in astronomy. Someday I'll write a book of all my experiences with women astronomers. We have them with us today. They're a wonderful addition. Thank you very, very much.